Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of C programming. In the previous video, we have learned what is the use of malloc. Now in this video, we'll use the concept of malloc and we will write some examples so that your concept will be much more clearer. Okay. So what we'll do actually, we'll write down the programs which is listed here. So we'll find the largest number from n number of using malloc. So these programs already we have written by using array. Now how to rewrite the same program by using malloc? Okay. So to write this particular program, you'll use the header file. So we have learned we need a pointer variable for malloc program. Also, the total number of elements I want to take input, that also I have to declare. Okay. So like array program, we have to take the total number of elements. Whatever we have taken as input, that will store in the total variable. Okay. Then what we'll do, we'll allocate the memory dynamically. So what is the syntax? Is the data type star, then the keyword malloc, then how many blocks? Total number of blocks. Each block, what is the size? It depends on the data type. So size of integer. Okay. Now we know that if the memory is not allocated, PTR will get null. So that you have to check first and you have to give a message. Memory is not allocated. Okay. If memory is allocated, then we'll start our operations. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll assign the value one by one. So you have to use this particular loop where it will start from 0 and less than total. This is completely similar like your array program. So if you are comfortable with the array program, then dynamic memory allocation is nothing for you. If you are not clear, you can watch the previous videos of array, learn the concept, write some more programs, and then study your dynamic memory allocation or the programs using malloc. Okay. So index equal to 0, index less than total, index plus plus. You are asking the user, enter value. So how to get the address? Because scanf requires address. So to provide the address, you have to write ptr plus index. Okay. Once again, I am suggesting if you are not clear how actually this pointer is being operated, you can watch the video specifically which is built on array and pointer. So the same syntax, whatever I have used there, the same syntax I am writing or using this one to write the program. Okay. So ptr plus index. Okay. So once the index will be incremented, your values will be taken as input. Okay. Now for clarification, we can print the values. So you have to print the values. So you take the help of this particular loop. Now we know that to print the value, you need to use the star operator because ptr plus index will provide you address, star will give you the value. Okay. Now what is the program is all about? You have to find the largest number. So let us take a large variable, and what we are doing here, you are considering the first value as the largest one. Okay. So ptr is pointing to the starting block. Yes or no? The use of malloc is it will return the address of the starting block. So the first block value I am considering that is my largest one. After that, I'll start searching. So my index will start from 1 because 0 is already with me as a large variable. So I am starting from one index. Okay, what I am writing, if ptr plus index star is greater than large. Okay, ptr plus index star means the value. If it is greater than the existing large variable, then assign that value. Okay, in this way what will happen, from 1 to last index, every value you are comparing with a large variable. If it is greater, then I am keeping in the large variable. Okay, once the loop will be over, you can print the large value. Then let us check. Okay, so warning is coming is because incompatible type of malloc. You can use here either malloc.h or stdlib.h is also okay. Now, no warning is here. So it is asking for the total number of elements. Suppose 7. Asking for value. So take some random values. Okay. So these are the values. And out of that, 87 is the largest one. So here, what is the advantage? Now, unlike array, you are not keeping all the, or you are not blocking any memory. Any number of blocks are required. As for that, the total memory is being allocated. Okay. Now coming to the second example, you have to reverse n number of elements using malloc. Okay. So first of all, if you will check up to this one, all programs are same. Only the declaration is not there. So for the time, ignore the declaration. First of all, you have to ask the total number of elements. Then you are allocating the memory. You are checking whether memory is allocated or not. If allocated, then you have to take the input and you have to display the values. Okay. After that, you will go for the reverse one. Now let us do some raw work. How to do this reverse? Okay. Now, for example, this is the list of elements 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, I can write this particular index is pointed by, suppose j. This particular index is pointed by I. Okay. So that means I have to swap these two numbers. Understood? So how to access these values? As ptr is pointing to the starting location, so ptr plus I star will be the first value and ptr plus j star will be the last value. So I need to swap these two values, ptr plus I star and ptr plus j star. After swapping, I will be incremented, j will be decremented. Again, I have to swap, and this will continue till I is not crossing your j, or till the half of the array. Okay, so we are doing reverse of array, reverse of n number of elements without using another one. Okay, so I need two variables, ij. So j equal to total minus 1, because j is pointing to the last one, I is pointing to the first one. So I can write for I equal to 0, I less than j, I plus plus. Okay, I need to swap. So for swapping, let us consider one more variable, temp equal to star of ptr plus I. Okay, star ptr plus I equal to star ptr plus j, star ptr plus j equal to temp. After that, j minus minus. Okay, So I is pointing to the starting one, j is pointing to the last one. Through by using this pointer variable, I am just doing the swapping operation. Okay. Once this will be over, when this will be over, when I till I is less than j. So if I equal to j, means odd number of elements are there. If I is greater than j, that means even number of elements are there. Until the half of the list, already you have done the swapping. Okay. So you can print this particular lines once again. Values of list after reverse. Okay. Same thing, 0 to total ptr plus index. Values of the list before reverse. Okay. Let us check. Okay. Index on tick. Okay. Let us check expected. As you have copied the previous program, so that's why the problem is coming. Okay. Nothing is there. So suppose six number of elements 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. Okay. Now these are the original values before reverse and these are the values after reverse. Now again, I have told you that the programs already have written by using array. Then what is the need of dynamic memory allocation? It's because you are not allocating memory during the compilation time, but by using malloc, you are allocating the memory during execution time. And you are not wasting the memory. You are using that much of memory as per the requirement. Okay. Now coming to the last one, the last program, that is your sorting of a number of elements. Okay. Now here we will use bubble sort. Okay. Now let us discuss what is bubble sort is all about. Now here, suppose 5, 25, 3, 7, let's say 65, 80 and 45. Clear? Now what you are doing here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now to sort the elements, what I am doing, I am just comparing these two consecutive elements. Okay. If I want to store the values in ascending order, that means the left hand side value must be less than the right hand side value. What I will do, I am checking the content of the left hand side value with the consecutive element in the right hand side. If the left hand side is greater than the right hand side, I'll do the swapping. So what I'll do, it will become 25, 65, 3, 7, 80 and 45. Okay. After that, check these two consecutive elements. 65 is greater than 3. So I'll do swapping 25, 3, 65, 7, 80, 45. Again, these two consecutive elements, 65 is greater than 7. So I'll write 25, 3, 65. No, not 65. 7, 65, 80, 45. After that, these two consecutive elements, but here 65 is less than 80. So that means the position of 65 temporarily is correct. So we will not do swapping. What I'll do, I'll check the next two consecutive elements. 80 is greater than 45. So this is not the place of 80. So I'll do swapping 25, 3, 7, 65, 45, 80. Now check. After a single round of comparison, 80 has come to its original position. Okay. So that means once again I'll start checking, but I'll not include this element because 80 is already sorted. So I'll start sorting from 25 till 45. So again the next round, what will happen? 65 will come to its original position, which is beside 80. Okay. Next time I'll not include 65 and 80. I'll check the rest of the one. This is what actually bubble sort is all about. That you have to check all the consecutive elements. Okay. So as per our discussion, first of all, any program, any program related to malloc, Up to this is fixed, that you have to declare, you have to compare, everything you have to do. Okay. Okay. So the total number of elements you have taken input, memory is allocated, values you have taken input, and values you have displayed. Okay. Before sorting. Then after that, I'll start doing sorting. So for j equal to, no, for I equal to 0, I less than. Okay. So here in every round, one value will be sorted. So if there are 5 number of values, that means I'll go for 4 rounds of sorting. So that 4 values will be sorted. If 4 values are sorted, the last element is automatically sorted. Okay. So that's why what will happen. I'll start from 0. I'll go up to 1 round less. That is total minus 1. Okay. J equal to 0. J less than total minus 1 minus I. What does it mean? That I'll tell you. Okay. J less than total minus 1 minus I means I is the number of rounds. The any number of rounds will be incremented. In every round, one value will be sorted. So you are ignoring the last value. Okay. Initially I equal to 0. So we'll include the last element. After the first round, the largest element will go to the last position. So we'll definitely not include the last element. That's a minus I. The number of rounds are increasing. Then we are ignoring that many number of values from the right hand side. Okay. So what you are doing here, you are checking if ptr plus j is greater than ptr plus j plus 1. Okay. ptr plus j means j is pointing to 0th index. J plus 1 means the consecutive element. Okay. If the left hand side is greater than the right hand side, I'll go for what? Swapping. So I'll do swapping. ptr plus j. Okay. Then if the left hand side value is greater than the consecutive right hand side, we are doing the swapping process. Okay. Swapping is done till the end. Clear? So when my loop will be over, my values will be sorted. In the first round, in this particular round, one value will be sorted. So next time I will be plus plus, I will go to 1. Okay. The next round, again I am starting from 0 to the consecutive, but as I equal to 1, so the last value you are not considering. Okay. So similarly, after sorting, what we will do? We will print the values. Then let us compile and execute. Yes. So these are the values in random order, whatever you have taken input. And after sorting, you can check the values are coming in ascending order. Okay. So what is my suggestion? Once you have understood how to sort the values in ascending order, you can rewrite the program by using dynamic memory allocation to sort the values in descending order. Okay. So through this video, what we have learned the use of malloc, which is actually required in real time. And my suggestion, you watch the video of array and pointer once again. Any number of programs you have written by using array, you convert to by using malloc. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching this video.